this is something in the book. It talks about the ABCs of mentoring students in transition. It's on page 26 if you want to open that up as well and follow what we're going to talk about. So these are 3 different things that they decided that a mentor can do to help a student. First of all, they can acknowledge the student's reality. This is something, it's the same as when you're communicating. We talked about it with it's not the nail. Don't focus on the nail. Everybody has situations that they're going through. And to acknowledge that situation is a majority of what they really need. Not saying, I know exactly how you're feeling. Because honestly, let's face it, you probably don't. You felt similar, but you probably don't know exactly how they're feeling. Because they may have a different reaction to a specific event than you would. So acknowledging their feelings, acknowledging their reality, acknowledging what they're going through is a lot of the time just exactly what they need. And then jumping to being strategic and student focused. You can't just be strategic about how you're going to help them through, and you can't just be student focused, because it takes both of them. Because you need that plan so that you can help that student along. You need to help, maybe you need to help them create their own plan so that they can help themselves along. But you do also have to focus on each person individually. Not a single plan will work for every single person. Okay? And then there's the commit the student to do it. How many of you guys had a mentor that actually committed you to do something when you were in 1000 specifically? Kelsey?
Mo?
What did Mo commit you to do?
Lots of homework. Try to step in, make it to class on time, many different things.
Perfect.
How did he commit you? What did that sound like? What did he say?
He offered to help me with many different things, and then he just followed up with me.
So it wasn't like, so are you going to do this?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He checked up with me, made sure I did it, asked if I needed help. So
How do you think it would have turned out if he didn't follow
I
up?
wouldn't have done anything. Nothing would have gotten done.
So follow up, obviously, with commitment, there is another side of commitment that is just as important, and I would dare to say even more important than the commitment itself, is the follow-up. Okay? Does anybody else have experience
Well,
with it?
I think central to the word commitment is it's a two-way street. Okay, I'm committed, it's a two-way street in terms of commitment. We're committed to each other. Whenever I express that commitment to you, you're much more likely inclined to commit, if not to the class, maybe even just to me. And that's sufficient. It may not be the best commitment, but it's a commitment. And if you're doing the work and it's hopefully changing your life, that's a great thing. But that commitment it's a two-way deal.
And I think it's kind of pointed out that he didn't sit Kelsey down and say, "Will you?" Like he just, I think that's from being in the culture that we're in, and we get kind of that mindset of the commitment process of, will you commit to do this, blah, blah, blah. It's not even that. It's actually just saying, you know what, like I think of mine, Marshall said you'd be an amazing mentor. And I'm just like, that's a commitment right there. I'm just like, yeah, I honestly agree with you. He kind of talked about it a little bit more. I'm just like, okay. And then he'd ask me questions later on. And I'd be like, yeah, things are going good. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and it's going to happen at this time frame. But yeah, he didn't like full out commit me, but he did, and he did it in a way that was surprising.
And that's one thing as well, is it's commitments, everybody will do them differently. I mean, I will invite somebody to do something in a completely different way than Marshall or Mo or whatever, whomever was your mentor, or whomever you were talking with and setting commitments with. We all do it differently, but they're a commitment nonetheless. Anybody else have an experience? I just committed somebody in our class right now, and it was really funny because we were joking about it, and I always follow up, even if they don't think I'm going to, I will, and it can either be a really awkward situation or it can be a humorous situation, and I try to make it more humorous than awkward. I try to make it more lighthearted, that even if you don't get it done, you still understand the importance of getting it done, and that life goes on, you know? So, anybody else have any comments on me? Jump around. Okay. Does anybody know what FYE stands for? Teachers you don't count. FYE.
First year experience.
Aha. What is it?
It's according to this. It's what? Well, no, I know what it is. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Basically, it is the student's first year experience here at college, and like different colleges, they try and set up like classes that will help the students succeed. And I didn't know the value of it when I first got here to college. Like, my counselors recommended them to me, but I'm like, no, I don't need that. Like, I don't want to be with a whole bunch of freshmen, even though I was a freshman. I was like, I don't want to be with a whole bunch of freshmen who don't know what they're doing. And so I just kind of went to do my own thing. But I've taken the classes since then, and I've learned the error in my ways, and they're pretty valuable. So.
Does anybody else have anything on top of that, of what first year experience it is? Is it just classes?
They do a whole bunch of activities.
Okay, like what?
Let's see. They did the J-Dogs with the scholarships. It was the first time I had a J-Dog.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
Every other Wednesday during the school year, $3. Just saying, Wolverine Wednesday.
Anything related to food,
I'm all there.
Rob is all in, baby.
I'm all in. Cheap food. That's good. Okay. Anybody know anything else that they do? I was actually going to wear one of my t-shirts today. Has anybody heard of learning communities? Do they have here on campus?
Yeah.
What are they?
So, they are mixture, yeah.
Do you remember that with Darren's
Yeah.
English class? That's what it was.
So, they are a double class. It's the same people in your class. And, are they usually back to back like that?
Yep.
Try to do it that way.
So, yeah, they're one after another. So, like, I had my CLSS 1000 class, and then I had my English 1010 class. And the teachers try to coordinate what they teach that day, and you get to know the students in the class really well because you spend so much time with them, and it's really cool. It makes the learning environment so much better. It's like this kind of environment, like all the time.
For
And so
2 courses.
yeah, even for like an English class, like it's not just like a CLSS class, which I thought was super cool. But so last semester was my first semester in college ever, and I wasn't actually planning on taking the CLSS 1000 class, but they made me sign up for it because the English class I wanted was a community class, and I'm super glad I took it. Like it set me on a kind of different path than I was expecting. So, cool. I
So,
recommend them.
yeah, like she said, I've been lucky enough to work the last couple semesters with a learning community that's paired with a health course. And so I got invited because we were doing studies to be in not only my 1000 course, but to also sit in on the health course. So I was there for all 3+ hours that we were together, twice a week. And the environment that we created in those courses was different than any 1000 course I've ever worked with. People got to know each other so much more, were so much more open, and they would, when we'd leave class, they would literally all as a group walk to where they were going next. They planned activities that they were going to do together. They had all these different things because they were able to make that little family unit, which is the learning community. Yeah.
I haven't been in one of these, but I can only imagine like they took the strategies that they learned in the CLS 1000 and they applied it straight to the next class.
That's exactly what
That's really cool.
And we actually catered our 1000 course to match. So instead of just going through the book like a lot of courses do, where you teach the learning styles, then you teach test-taking strategies, all these different things, we were able to mesh them where she had different tests that she would give, where one would be a multiple choice, one would be a group test, one would be an open note test, one would be this and that. And so what we do is a week before, we would teach testing strategies for that specific type of test. Or we teach note-taking strategies for that specific type of test. So we were able to really lock the two together, and it gave an instant application instead of having to go and apply it yourself.
Our time is up.
Oh crap.
Our time went fast.
That was fast.
But I'm glad you hit on the learning communities, because I love Haley's testimonial. I think is really indicative of one of the many benefits. You know, she said it turned her on to a different path that she wasn't planning, and I think she's, as a result, much more well connected to students and to the university than she probably ever would have been had she not. And that's really what it's about, is really connecting the students to help them be more successful than hopefully than they ever would have been.
So that's part of the first year experience, is those learning communities. There's lots of other things if you have more questions. And the reason for the learning community, or for the first year experience, is very, very big, and you'll learn more of that as we go along.
So you're gonna try to do learning communities for like